Hey guys, so the Ghostbusters trailer came out today. I haven't seen it yet. I've heard a lot of terrible things. I was on the fence about liking the film or not to like the film. On me personally, I don't think something like Ghostbusters should be touched. I mean, I think it's its own thing. I think if you want to do something similar, you can, but do it on your own terms. Don't, capitalize on the franchise that is Ghostbusters. So that said, I'm going to watch the trailer for the first time right now and then get a little idea of what the movie is and give you my reaction. 3, 2, 1. Three scientists and a guy, but that's okay, whatever.
It's a class 4 operation.
Oh, cool.
It's okay, she seems peaceful.
My name is Erin Gilbert, Doctor of Particle Physics. That stuff went everywhere, by the way, in every crack. Very hard to wash off.
We have dedicated our whole lives to studying the paranormal. Now there's sightings all over the city. There are people out there that need our help. Holtzman, you're a brilliant engineer. Aaron, no one's better at quantum physics than you. We can provide a real service.
I'm joining the club. You guys are really smart about this science stuff, but I know New York. And I can borrow a car from my uncle.
You
Wrong
didn't
car, it was an
disclose
ambulance.
that the vehicle was going to be a hearse.
It's a Cadillac!
Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh. Did you want to?
Sorry, I'll let you.
Next time. Okay.
Someone is creating a device that amplifies paranormal activity. And we might be the only ones who can stop it.
Holtzman, come on.
The hat is too much, right? Is it the wig or the hat?
Okay, that was funny.
There's a bigger picture at hand here. These ghosts can possess the human form.
Oh, hell no, the devil is a liar! Get out of my friend, Ghost!
Ow, that's
She's gonna hit her more times, isn't
The
she?
power of pain compels you!
Ow!
All right, just okay. Gonna stop for 2 seconds. Before I go into before I do anything rash, okay, one thing I'm gonna say. I'm gonna do the pros first. So pro, I actually kind of like the way the ghosts are designed. The ghosts remind me of the real Ghostbusters TV show that I used to watch, the cartoon that I watched years ago. So I mean, I don't mind that. They looked really colorful, and they did look kind of, I guess they could be creepy, but they looked really cool. The production design, the equipment, I don't mind the equipment looking different. That's not a big deal to me. I mean, didn't expect them to have the same exact proton packs as in the 80s movies. So, the equipment looked kind of cool. And the girl who plays the Egon character, I forget her name is. What was her name? So Holtzman, I can totally tell that in this movie, Holtzman's going to be the character that everyone likes, because Holtzman is literally embodying Harold Ramis, like that Egon said drink dry character, right? She's the brains of the crew, the one who makes all the gear. But I guess they have another engineer too. I don't know. But anyway, so Holtzman looks like the most interesting character right now. The other three, meh. I wasn't, the fact that it was an all-female cast, it wasn't a problem to me. I did feel it was maybe kind of like a stunt, like a casting stunt, we're gonna hire all women, then we'll get this big reaction, and then everyone will go see it. Well, that never bothered me personally. The thing that got me worried was Melissa McCarthy's type of humor isn't my cup of tea. It's very lowbrow, a lot of physical humor, a lot of improv, and and I just don't feel that this is the type of movie that's going to make me laugh. On top of that, but it looks bad. The movie looks bad. It looks bad, and even on the YouTube channel, it's got 57,000 likes and then 83,000 dislikes and 3 million hits. So it looks bad. The movie looks bad. And for those of you who want to say like, oh well, Greg, don't worry about it. It's Greg, it's a reboot, so stop comparing it to the older movie. It's not a sequel. Okay, well, if it's not a sequel, then why are they throwing back to the 30 years ago 3 scientists saved New York and now a new team? So they're making it seem like it is a sequel and like everything is just gone. So it's not a reboot. So it is a reboot, but it's not a reboot, but it is, but it isn't. And and for those of you like panicking, freaking out, saying, oh, Greg, it's a reboot, you stop comparing it to the 80s version. I'm completely allowed and entitled to compare it to the original Ghostbusters films because they are riding so heavily on that nostalgia. They're riding on the Ghostbuster symbol. They're riding on the music. They're riding on Slimer was in the trailer. Like, if you're gonna make a reboot, like, it's okay to nod your hat to things, but this is clearly trying to capitalize on the fame that was Ghostbusters in the 80s and early 90s. And it's a damn shame because they could have done such a good job with this film. They could have made it smart. They could have made it, very witty with a lot of banter, because honestly in the 80s films, it was the banter between these 4 friends that really kind of made it interesting to watch. They were friends, they lived together, they went to school together. But like here, there is no banter. Here it's just slapstick gags. And I think that's what's really disappointing, is that they could have gone with something so much more better, deep, clever writing, clever jokes, but they went for lowbrow, lowest common denominator humor. So the young people will go see it because it's the new version of comedy, and then the older people will go see it because they're nostalgic to Ghostbusters. And it's that formula that they're trying to work. Like, oh, this formula will hit this generation, and this joke will hit this generation. We can get all these people to go see it. It's very formulaic, and it feels formulaic. It doesn't feel like, hey, let's go make a great movie. Let's do it. Let's do the old Ghostbusters justice and try to make something new and fresh. Instead, they just managed to make a lowbrow slapstick movie that'll probably be forgotten in 5 years. It'll release, it'll make a bunch of money, because I'm sure it will, and then it'll go into a shelf and no one will watch it again. And I've noticed a pattern that in films lately, more and more films are doing that. They're just releasing, they make a shit ton of money in a theater release, in DVD release, and then they just go away. You just never hear from them again. Yeah, well, that's my reaction. I guess I'm just, like I said, I'm very disappointed. I was nervous. I wasn't completely throwing it out that it was going to be terrible, but after seeing the trailer, I'm just not interested. It doesn't look interesting. At a certain point in making this, they had the chance to go in 2 different directions. One direction was to say, hey, okay, let's look at the old movies, see what they did right, and let's try to copy that, or try to do that same thing. That was one direction they could go. The other direction was to completely ignore the old movies, which would be fine occasionally, and just make something completely new and fresh. Batman Begins example, like, obviously they didn't take the 89 Batman Tim Burton movie and try to copy that. They did their own thing and it worked out fine, and that was a reboot. But this is just, it's lowbrow, and that's not what this movie could have been. The movie could have been a lot more than just a lowbrow slapstick Melissa McCarthy tripping and hitting things. But it is what it is. And it has nothing to do with the all-female cast, so nobody better like start screaming at me saying that I'm like a sexist, because like I said, Melissa McCarthy I think can be funny. I don't particularly like her in lead roles. But yeah, this isn't Ghostbusters. This is Bridebusters. So maybe, I think there's still a chance to save this. Sony, if you change the name to Ghost Busting or Female Ghostbuster, Female Ghost Busters, or change the title, I think this movie may stand a chance. Otherwise, it looks really bad. It looks terrible. Oh god, and the internet will reign supreme. Anyway, I feel bad because I know a lot of people worked on it, and a lot of people thought they were making something good. And I know comedies is not easy to nail. So anyway, I'm droning on. But anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. Whenever I'm passionate about something, I usually do something like this. I'm really passionate about Ghostbusters. I was a fan since I was a kid. And it was a really big disappointment. So thanks for watching.
The effect? I'll tell you what the effect is. It's pissing me off. Well, then maybe my theory is correct. You can keep the $5. I've had it. I will, mister.